Hi everybody, this is Hero from the Birds, back with another Shadowlands video. In this video, I'd like to close out my comments on the Necrolord Covenant. I'm heading back to Venthyr, and I'm going to explain a little bit of why in this video. But for now, just in the background, we have some heroic Altimor re-clear where you can see Shock Barrier being used alongside Necrolord, just in a kind of regular fight. And the throughput is really nice. Mostly I want to talk to you about what I think are the strengths of Necrolord and why you don't necessarily have to switch, but why I'm making the decision to head back to Venthyr. And again, guys, it comes back to that interesting interaction between Divine Purpose Awakening and the Vanquisher's Hammer buff. Vanquisher's Hammer makes your next Word of Glory cast a free Light of Dawn. Both of those have an opportunity to proc your Divine Purpose and proc Wings through Awakening. What this means is that ultimately you could have some really high uptime on Wings over the course of an entire fight. I think this is going to scale really well over the next expansion. Over the course of Shadowlands as an expansion, especially if we get access to, say, multiple legendaries at once. If you get access to a lot of gear, that's going to be insanely good. Wings, traditionally, and it's still the case today, is an exceptionally powerful CD for Holy Paladins. Really, a great deal of our healing throughput comes through Wings, largely because we get 30% crit and 30% healing. Of course, the damage is also really excellent, so having high Wings uptime is going to mean a lot more damage. Not only that, we get Hammer of Wrath casts within that window. So all of these things lead me to believe that if you can get a lot of haste, or a lot of stats in general, Vanquisher's Hammer is going to scale really well. So for those of you who are staying Necrolord, either because you want to and you like the aesthetic, or you really enjoy the gameplay of the Vanquisher's Hammer, I think you're going to be in a great spot. You can see here that it's doing fine as far as throughput is concerned. I am using Shock Barrier in this case, but you need not. You don't actually have to do the Glimmer build. You could even do Vanquisher's Hammer alongside your Holy Light build if you wanted, and stand in melee and cast Holy Lights. The real benefit is the fact that you get uptime on Wings. You don't necessarily have to be producing a lot of extra holy power, though it tends to be that if you want to produce a lot of extra wing casts, generally speaking, the best way to do that is to do a lot of Holy Shocks and Crusader Strikes. So that's why I'm featuring it in this video here. So why the decision to move back to Venthyr? Largely actually has to do with my own decision for my raid as a raid lead. I'm looking to accent what my healer core is already doing, and I have a lot of heavy throughput healers ready to go, so I'm taking up more of a spot healing and DR role, and I want to add a lot of damage onto that. So my thought at the moment is that we are going to move this direction because you get a nice healing CD to add to the mix. It's kind of a very CD oriented raid as far as I can tell, and I have access to a lot of excellent CDs, but I'd like to tag one more on just for insurance, and also because Venthyr does a significant amount of damage. So I'm going to be looking at Mad Paragon Venthyr for a little bit, and then accent it from fight to fight depending on what we need. It also gives us another outlet for our Sun King cheese, because the Venthyr Hallow is quite good, but it's also going to scale really nicely, especially for Sludge Fist and some of the other fights going forward. Mostly I just want to emphasize that I think Necro has been a really good experience. I think it has combinations with certain legendaries that are going to be excellent if we get access to 2 Legos down the road. Specifically things like Shadowbreaker and Martyr. Those two together actually might be completely insane due to the way the buff works from Shadowbreaker. And extra LOD casts are good, but largely, guys, I think Divine Purpose Awakening procs are going to scale really well because of how good our cooldown is, how awesome Wings is. So for those of you who stuck around and you still want to play this style, you need not do the Glimmer stuff. Try out some Holy Light builds. I'll be back to check out Necrolord after our main prog is finished, and I'll let you know any of the other kind of builds I come up with or devise at that time. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for some crazy DPS side of Venthyr as we move forward in some of our testing with our raid. Catch you guys next time.